This is the easiest type of joke that I've found to write in any comedy script. So the type of joke that I'm talking about is responding to the wrong thing. I apologize in advance for my terrible handwriting, okay? When I first started as a comedy writer, I spent a lot of time studying joke structure because I was terrified that I just wasn't funny enough. And I watched a lot of Family Guy, a lot of South Park, and a lot of The Simpsons, and realized that a lot of these big shows were using a lot of the same joke structures constantly. And once I started to see that, I couldn't stop seeing it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me show you a few examples first, and then we're going to break down exactly how they work. So example 1. So this example is from Family Guy. And I forget exactly, what the premise of this episode is, but Peter is helping an old lady because she's old and he's her helper for some reason. I forget exactly how they met. Doesn't really matter. And the old lady kisses Peter. And so in this scene, Peter tells Lois, and Lois goes, "I can't believe that old lady kissed you." You can read that. I believe in you. And Peter goes, "It was awful. There were still," this is a long sentence, "still crumbs in the corner of her mouth from that Nilla wafer." This is how you spell wafer, right? Nilla wafer she had at lunch. So they could have shortened this sentence. I feel like brevity helps comedy a lot. I don't know why they made this sentence so long. Anyway, doesn't matter. But it's kind of funny in and of itself, right? Kind of observational comedy there. And then Lois says, "Are you sure there weren't some misunderstanding?" And then Peter says, "No, those were definitely Nilla waivers." Okay, so you see why this is funny, right? So, waivers. So obviously, Lois is asking about the kiss. Are you sure there weren't some misunderstanding? She's asking about the kiss, but Peter responds as if she's asking about the Nilla wafers. Responding to the wrong thing, right? Okay, so let's take another example. Example 2. And so this is from Ted, the series Ted, another Seth MacFarlane show. And I forget exactly what happens again in this episode, but basically this high school bully is bullying all the kids or the nerds in high school, in the school, and the bully has tried to kill himself. And so this random kid comes up to John and Ted and says, the bully, I think his name is Clive. Random kid says, "The bully tried to kill himself. Now I can wear my Ace of Base shirt without getting beat up." And then John says, John is the kid who owns Ted. John says, "Ted, what are we gonna do?" Question mark. Phew, all this writing is making my wrist hurt. Okay. And then Ted says, "If he wants to wear the shirt, he's gonna wear the shirt." Okay, so again, this is exactly like in example 1, right? The random kid is says, the bully tried to kill himself. Now I can wear my Ace of Base shirt without getting beat up. Ted, what are we going to do? If he wants to wear the shirt, he's going to wear the shirt. So obviously, we as the audience know that John is talking about the bully trying to kill himself, not the Ace of Base shirt, which is why it's funny when Ted answers as if John was asking about the Ace of Base shirt, right? So let's talk about how this actually works. There are plenty of funnier examples with this type of joke, but I chose these because these are so simple and easy to understand. So if we look at joke structure, right, the simplest way to understand or to structure a joke, I guess, is setup plus punchline equals funny haha jokes, okay? And so in this type of joke, we have two types of setups, and the setup serves as giving us context and misdirection. And the punchline serves as a surprise for the audience, okay? So let me explain what I mean. So surprise is one of the laughter triggers. It's one of the things that make us laugh as the audience. There's a reason why if we've heard a joke 10 times, it's not as funny the 10th time because the surprise is gone. We know what's going to happen in the joke, right? We've heard it before. And so if you haven't read it already, I mean, I would highly recommend Breaking Comedy's DNA by Jerry Corley. He talks about all these different laughter triggers, the psychology behind what makes us laugh as humans. And I know everyone's like, reading a book about being funny isn't that the least funny thing you can do? I get it, okay? But this book is really good, I promise. He also talks about a lot of different joke structures. It's really good, okay? I'm not sponsored, but I wish I was. It's that good. So another way to say setup plus punchline, I guess, would be that's an S. Oh, geez, might as well write that over. Misdirection. The mic is in the way. Misdirection plus surprise equals funny haha jokes. Okay? So the setup is the misdirection and the punchline is the surprise. So in the first example here, right? We first set up some context. We set up Lois lets the audience know that this old lady kissed Peter, and then Peter talks about the vanilla wafer. And then the second setup is Lois asking, "Are you sure there weren't some misunderstanding?" Right? She's making this misdirection because we as the audience obviously expect Peter now to respond to the old lady kissing him. And the surprise is that he responds to the wrong thing. See what I mean? And in the example below, the exact same thing is happening. So the first setup is context. The bully tells us that the random kid tells us that the bully tried to kill himself and that he can now wear Ace of Base shirts. And then the misdirection happens when John asks Ted, what are we going to do? We as the audience obviously expects Ted to answer regarding the bully trying to kill himself. And the surprise, the punchline happens when he responds to the wrong thing. It's really that simple. That's how this responding to the wrong thing joke works. And so if we were to literally write out the formula is how you spell it. Setup. So we have two setups, setup 1, setup 2, and punchline. Like this. And so the first setup is context. Where we address two things. Wait, what am I writing here? Okay, I need an eraser here. Addressing two things. Oh, I'm running out of space. We're addressing two things. We're addressing A plus B. And in the second setup, we are asking, a character is asking about A. Jesus, imagine if I knew how to write good. And the punchline is another character responding to B. Okay. In the first example, so the first setup, we're addressing two different things. The old lady kissing Peter, that's A. Peter talking about Nilla waivers, that's B. Lois asks about A, that's the second setup, and Peter responds to B. Okay? So it's important to understand that A has to have more weight than B, right? Because in order for us to expect or know that Lois is asking about A has to be the obvious thing, right? We're discussing two different things, and then the character asks about the obvious thing, and the second character responds to the non-obvious thing or the silly thing. So A obviously has to weigh more than B for us to for the misdirection and the surprise to be successful. And in the second example, the bully tried to kill himself, that's A, and the ace of base shirt is B. John asks about A, what are they going to do about the bully trying to kill himself? And Ted answers about the shirt, which is B, right? Obviously, the thing that has the most weight here, the obvious thing, is the bully trying to kill himself. And so we expect, we know that John is asking about that, but Ted responds to the non-obvious thing. He responds to B. Cool. So it's really that simple. Let's write one of these jokes, why don't we? Ooh, this is satisfying. He spent all that time writing all this stuff, and now he's just erasing it? Is he crazy? Okay, so let's write one of these together. Okay, so let's say my mom is calling me, and she tells me that my grandma died. So she goes, Patrick, grandma's dead. She goes, Patrick, grandma's dead. Choked on a Snickers bar. And I go, so she goes, Patrick, grandma's dead, choked on a Snickers bar. And I go, I'd probably go, oh my God, first. Right, that's horrible. Grandma's dead? Oh my God, exclamation point. I can't believe it. Exclamation point. Maybe 2 exclamation points. Wouldn't that be crazy if we did that? And mom goes, she goes, I know. She always struck me as a let's do Kit Kat instead of Mars. Let's spell it correct first of all. Kit Kat gal. I know she always struck me as a Kit Kat gal. Right, Kit Kat sounds funnier than Mars. Kit Kat gal. So there's a bit of a alliteration there. K and G kind of sound similar, and K is funnier than M. Always funnier. Okay, so mom says, Patrick, grandma's dead, choked on a Snickers bar. Patrick says, oh my God, I can't believe it. Mom says, I know, she always struck me as a Kit Kat gal. Right? So if we look at the formula, setup 1, we address 2 different things. Grandma's dead, that's A. Choked on a Snickers bar, that's B. I ask about A, obviously, or well, in this case, I don't ask, but I still set up mom to respond, right? I can't believe it is obviously about grandma being dead, not about her eating a Snickers bar. But mom responds as if we're talking about B. I know, I can't believe it either. She's always struck me as a Kit Kat gal. What is she doing with that Snickers bar? Right? So there it is. That's just a quick funny example. What a crazy mom, by the way. What a crazy death to choke on a Snickers bar. Oy, how can such a delicious thing cause so much harm? terrible. Okay, so that's just one of many different examples of how to write a joke, out of many, 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 of course. And I hope this was helpful. For those of you who are like, this gets way too formulaic, I don't like this. It takes the fun out of it to have formulas and structure and all that. Great. Don't do this. For the rest of us who are taking things seriously and actually want to learn and become better comedy writers, I hope this was helpful. I like to think of it as having another tool in my toolbox. And so next time I'm staring at a script where I have a page without anything funny happening and I need to come up with some jokes, I now have an extra tool in my toolbox that I can pull out. And so I hope this was helpful for you too. If you're new here, subscribe if you got any value from this, and let me know if you like this type of format where I write with terrible handwriting. Thanks for watching.